Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be all about developing language, and I'm going to be looking this time at between 12 and 18 months. So if you watched Alex's 1 year update, you'll know that the language side of things was the area that I had the most concerns. I'm not concerned, but it was the area in which he was the lowest scoring. And at 14 months, which is where he is now, he's still not really saying any words as such. So it's something that I've been really interested in looking at with him. So I've been doing a bit of research and I thought I would share that with you guys. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that I'm doing with Alex to help develop his language and communication skills. So tip number 1 is to simplify. Now by this I mean to simplify some of the words that you're using so that they are preferably one-syllable words. So for example, we say done instead of finished. We say drink instead of water. And some people I know are a bit funny about this one, but we might say tar or thanks instead of thank you. Those single syllable words are going to be much easier for him to pick up. My second tip is to be consistent. So if you're using a word to mean something, then use that word all the time. So when we were thinking about this, we were often saying to Alex, when he wanted a drink, do you want a drink? Do you want water? Do you want your cup? Do you want your beaker? So we've just stopped using all those different words and we're now saying drink every single time. That means that he should hopefully learn much more quickly that drink means his drink. If we're using lots of different words for it, it's going to be slightly more confusing and take that bit longer for them to learn. Tip number 3 is to avoid using pronouns. So pronouns are words like I, we, me, you, those sorts of things. Those things that we use to replace nouns with. Now when you're a child or a baby, pronouns don't mean anything because they change. When Lee says I, it means him. When I say I, it means me. They don't quite have the brains to process that yet. So if you're talking to them and you want them to go and get something for you, say, can Mummy have the spoon? Can Alex get Mummy the spoon? That's much better because that way he knows that I mean him because he is Alex and me because I'm Mummy. If I said, can you go and get me the spoon, it's a little bit more ambiguous and a bit less clear for them to understand. Number 4 is a classic teacher one, and it's repetition. Repeat things as often as you can. I'm trying to set up a system now where at bath time Lee always talks to Alex about the body parts so that he's hearing those things every single day. I now do animals with Alex at some point every day so that I know that he's hearing those words lots and lots and lots. The more you use them, the more quickly they're going to learn them. It's obvious, isn't it, really? Okay, the 5th thing that I'm doing is talking as much as I can to him. It sounds really obvious, but being a first-time mum, having a baby that doesn't talk back to you, it can feel a bit weird to keep talking over and over and over and over again. Luckily, I'm quite used to the sound of my own voice, but lots of people aren't. So the things that you can do are to talk through the things that you're doing. So if I'm doing the washing up, I might talk to Alex about the cup that I've got. Oh, this is Alex's cup, it's his blue cup. Anything that you can say. It really doesn't matter what you're saying, just narrate your life as much as you can while you're doing things. So I'll often be that really irritating person that while Alex is playing I'll be saying, oh, you've got the ball, have you got a yellow ball? Oh, you've put it down on the floor, have you put it in the box? And all of those things, all that language is going to be going into him, slowly drip feeding through into his brain. It feels really odd doing it. It feels a bit annoying. You feel like one of those people that's on Facebook telling everybody what you're having for lunch and nobody cares. But it's better than that, and it's important, and it's going to get that language into them. And number 6 is to read as often as you can with your baby. It's an obvious one, but it's obvious because it's so important. So I've brought some books in actually that I wanted to show you, some of the books that I particularly like. Books that are repetitive, that have the same thing being said over and over again, are really great at this age because they're more likely to pick up the pattern of words that's happening, and you might find they even start to join in with you. So Some classic ones are the That's Not My books. I'm sure you'll have seen these. And they say, that's not my da-da-da, its tail is too fluffy, or whatever it may be. So that pattern of words is really, really good. So I thoroughly recommend these. They're also really engaging for children of this age because they're touchy-feely books. So they've got fluffy bits or rough bits to feel, and that draws their attention in a lot. Another classic is We're Going on a Bear Hunt, which I also love. Again, it's got the same sort of rhyme going on and on and on through the book, so they will pick up the pattern of this. Peepo, it's another one of my favourites. It's not got as much repetition in it, but that does have the word peepo that's repeated through the book, which again will draw them in. And The Very Hungry Caterpillar, which I'm sure you all know. And again, it talks about him still being hungry repeatedly. But the best books for repetition are probably these ones. So read often. Reading for 20 minutes every day, if you think about that over the long term, if you think how much more reading your child will have done by the time they go to reception class, it's going to be a massive amount of minutes. So read as much as you can. Alex now brings me books during the day. He'll actually walk up to me and give me a book that he wants to read. So he's really loving sharing stories, and it's such an enjoyable time to have with your child. So build it into your routine, really important. Okay, I hope some of these tips have been useful. We'll see if they work for Alex too, because he's definitely not saying much yet. But do remember also that language and communication is not all about speaking. Alex understands a lot more than he says. So he will actually go and pick things up if I ask him to go and get the ball or the spoon. If I ask him to bring something to mummy, he will do that as well. He knows what to throw means. So he's understanding a lot more than he's saying, and obviously all babies develop at their own rate. I'm hoping at some point he's just going to suddenly come out with all of these words that he's been storing up in his head. But I'll keep you posted, and I hope some of these tips have been useful for you as well. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for me and subscribe for some more. Bye!